14. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't cheat, screaming bunty ho. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes Benz. Won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that, man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Good evening. Happy Thursday to you guys. Thank you all for joining me. If you made it to Thursday evening, praise be. All right. Just in case Just in case you're new here and you're like, who is this woman in front of me? Please allow me to introduce myself. I go by Miss Mono's World Needs Content Creator Streets, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the places the content creators be. If you are not on the YouTube, please head over to the YouTube. Hold on. Please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. I'm trying to see if I'm showing up on TikTok live, and I don't see myself showing up on TikTok live. So boo, we tried to plug in, it probably didn't work. That's okay. Shout out to the okay. All right. Yeah, I told y'all about the YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. All right. There's a lot that's been happening this week. A lot has been happening. One of the things that stuck out to me was this situation in Chicago. The situation in Chicago, we know that the president is trying to send the National Guard to Chicago, right? But hold on, I can't find the clip that I had. Okay, I'm gonna just talk to y'all about it because y'all pretty much know about it. It's everywhere. Everybody knows that the president is trying to send the National Guard into Chicago, allegedly because of the wonderful success that they've had in Washington D.C., where they've gotten the murder rate down to 0. I think it was the last time we checked. So he's like, hey, let's do this in Chicago. And so there was a clip circulating this week, and the mayor of Chicago was advising the residents to basically fight the National Guard, like to defend. His words were to defend the land, to defend their land. And I have okay, here's the thing, right? Like I don't agree with anything anyone says, okay? And I'm not a active nationally political person, right? Like I don't vote in the presidential elections. I don't do that because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in its integrity. I don't believe in the system, okay? So I don't. All right. But being that I live here in America, I do still stay abreast of what's going on because these things do affect me and my family. Okay. Now, that being said, just because a person may have a overall contradictory position as our current president does, it does not mean that sometimes they are not right or what they are saying does not make any sense. Okay. Because as the old folks used to say, even a broke clock is right twice a day. Okay. So a person is not wrong all the time. Okay. Now, to me, if I lived in a state and the violence in the state had become so uncontrollable that the state law enforcement could not handle it, as a tax-paying American, I would think that the next step would be for the next level of government to get involved. If I'm complaining to my police chief, my senator, my mayor, my governor, that me and my neighbors are dying, we're scared for our lives, our children are being killed, and nobody can do anything, the police aren't catching the bad guys, like nobody's doing anything, wouldn't my wouldn't it make sense that you want whoever's in charge to take the next step, the next available step to stop this issue? Okay. Again, put your like or dislike for the president to the side. If you, as a tax-paying citizen, keep complaining. Okay, we've been complaining about potholes in Atlanta since forever. Since forever. And they have not gotten any better. There's constantly construction on a highway, but nobody's doing anything. Listen, if the federal government wants to come in and make a demand that these local governments close up the potholes, I'm not going to fight that. I'm going to support that because I'm tired of having to get my tires fixed. I'm tired of the suspension of my car going out. Like, finally, yes, somebody's doing something. And so I was talking to somebody about this, and they were saying that, I think I was talking to my dad, and he was saying that, like, the reason that people are upset is because when they send the National Guard, they're sending them to the hood, the ghetto, where the Black people are. But again, if the Black people are the ones complaining that nobody's doing anything about them being murdered, why are we mad at the president for doing something about it? I see, and here's again, and this is what sparked the main topic. Okay, your life doesn't make any sense. This is what sparked it for me because this does not make any sense to me. It doesn't. You can't constantly complain for somebody to help you, and then because you don't like the person that's in the position to help, now you want to reject the help. So you reject the help. What are you going to say to the next mother that's sitting there crying about her son being murdered by some thugs in Chicago? What are you going to say to her? How are you going to convince her that, oh, yeah, it's better for us to just not do anything and, we'll just let this whole bang, bang, shoot 'em up situation play out? I'm not understanding. And we're too far into this thing called America to go back and talk about what coulda, shoulda, woulda, and how it oughta had been. We here now in 2025. Angelina Shalom Shalom, sis, thank you for joining me. We're in 2025. Okay. We are, however, I don't know how long we've been here. You know what I'm saying? We've been here for hundreds of years now. This country has been a country for more than 200 years. Okay. We can't go back and talk about, well, we should have policed ourselves and we shoulda. The system is built. It's here. There's no escaping it. Because if you could escape it, and if we as Black people could police ourselves, I believe there's enough of us that want to, that if we could, it would have been done by now. And you can't keep blaming white people for the decisions of individual Black people. Yes, they brought the guns and the crack into the neighborhood. Yes, they implemented welfare and they demanded that the men leave. Okay, cool. But what about the decisions that you are making on a daily basis? The National Guard coming in is not going to stop everyday law-abiding citizens from getting up and going to work and coming home and picking their kids up. It's not to interrupt the natural order of things. It's to solve a problem that we claim we're having. And I know, I listen, I purposely listen to people that I don't agree with so that I am aware of all sides of an issue. Like, I don't like to just take my thought and run with it and think that, okay, I'm right. There's this principle, and I can't think of the name of it, but it says that people make a mistake thinking that they know everything that they can know about a subject once they get to a certain point, right? Like somebody thinking they can read just because they know their ABCs. No, there's more to this that you need to learn and study, okay? And so for that reason, I'm never going to just take one side of the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I have my experience as a Black person. Nobody can change that for me. But there are also other sides to the issue. So, with that being said, like, I can understand the side of, well, the government's been, doing us so wrong. Trust me, I know my history. I know the history of this country. But if someone is offering a solution that I see is going to work, why am I not going to take it? I feel like one of the mistakes that we keep making is we keep wanting to reference Germany and the Third Reich and the famous dictator, the one with the brown mustache and, okay. We keep wanting to reference that um when talking about what's going on now. Oh, he's trying to occupy us. He's trying to send the National Guard in to occupy American cities. If American cities are complaining about the murder rate and the police in that American city and the law enforcement of that American city, the law enforcement of that American state, if nobody can do anything, what do you suggest? What's your answer? What's your answer when all these kids are dying? I don't remember how many umpteenth murders there were over Labor Day. I mean, come on. What is your answer? I feel like I don't feel like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna say I feel like because it's not a fact. Okay, so I'm gonna say yes. I feel like um we as people don't think anymore. We don't stop and think about what is being fed to us, what is being told to us. Why is this okay now? If you want to be upset about the National Guard having to be sent in to a Black community, because it's not the white people that are complaining about each other being murdered. I just have to come out and say it. It's not the white people complaining. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Did I miss something? No, the people from the business district aren't complaining. The people out in the sprawling suburbs are not the ones complaining. So you'll complain, complain, and complain. And because you've been fed propaganda about a person that's offering a solution, now all of a sudden you don't want the solution. If Joe Biden had decided to send the National Guard in to stop the murders in Chicago, would that have been okay? If somebody that stands on the blue side would have suggested this, would that answer have been okay? And but let's not, the blue side did nothing. The blue side has done nothing. We keep wanting to fall into this liberalism, and I'm not trying to make this a political conversation, but some of the themes are. Because it has to go with just the general movement of our time. The liberalism that we see, the disregard for other people, the disregard for the rest of humanity. Okay, so I was having a conversation with my aunt at family dinner. She's not my blood aunt, but she my mom close friend. So, and we were talking, I forgot what we were talking about, but I was explaining to her that even though I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, I don't assign myself a political badge. I don't assign myself Republican, Democrat, liberal. I don't assign myself any of those. Okay. But if we're going to talk about lining up with my values as a Bible believing woman, then my thoughts line up more with a conservative agenda. I'm not saying I agree with everything anyone does, okay? But again, it does not make sense to me how people who get up every Sunday and go to church and claim to be Christians and claim to be Bible believers will get out here and donate their time, money, energy, and resources to people who believe the total opposite of what the Bible says we should be doing. It doesn't make sense to me. And now I fear that we have just gotten so far away that like there's no hope. There's no hope. I want to show y'all this video. Let me find it. I want to show y'all this video. And I'm gonna tell y'all, like I posted this video, and the response that I didn't even respond to some of the comments because I'm not doing it. Like I'm not arguing about this. All right, let me show y'all. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications while I pull this video up. I'm not even gonna show the video. Okay, I don't think I need to show the video. I think you can see clearly what is going on right here. Now, this is supposed to be a video of this woman here. And you can see in the caption, she went viral after posting this video of her at her son's football practice. I'm gonna tell you how I feel like women that dress like this at kids events need to be kicked out and they need to be banned from the park. Because there's no reason to be dressed like this at all. This does not make any sense. We refuse to use our brains for some reason. And we have been led to believe that this kind of dress here is acceptable in front of children. If there was a man out at the football field watching his daughter cheerlead or play soccer, and he had his shirt off, and he was out there taking videos of him with his shirt off, with his daughter running around, y'all be calling him a perv and be ready to lock him up. That's nasty. Why is he doing that around that little girl? That's disgusting. Why is this okay? Why is this okay? Listen, stop acting like certain clothes aren't made for certain reasons. The only reason you wear high-waisted leggings is to accentuate your waist and your butt. That's what they do. They compress your waist and they lift up your... They tell you that in the advertisement. You want a bigger booty? Get these leggings. You want a snatch waist? Get these leggings. Why do I care about my booty being tight and my waist being snatched at my child's football game? It's not appropriate. And see, here's the problem, right? You go to this football game dressed like this, and then as soon as somebody daddy do say something to you, all of a sudden what kind of deadbeat are you? Why you not worried about your child? Why you over here worried about me? As if men aren't supposed to be attracted to women in the first place. This is what I'm saying. The life and the thinking that we are living these days makes no sense. We have been so brainwashed by modern science that we just feel like everything that God originally designed doesn't matter. We're going to make it what we want to make it. We constantly talk about how the fall of humanity is because Adam followed Eve into sin. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what I would have to do to get my husband to egregiously sin like that. I don't think that I could. Not saying that I'm less of a woman, but it had to be something there for Adam to just fall like that. Clearly, this woman had some kind of power to lead this man to the destruction of humanity, for crying out loud. We hear these stories time and time again about Samson and Delilah. Mark Anthony and Cleopatra. I mean, we can go past the Bible. Did you see what Esther was able to do? We just read the story of Abigail last night. Women have a power. Your power is simply that you are a female and males are attracted to you. That is just natural. That is going to happen. I don't know where we got into this mindset that men are wrong for looking at women, period. I mean, period. If you see a pretty face walk by, a man is going to stare. And y'all make it even crazier than that. You don't have to show every part of your body every time you walk out the house. Like, there's a time and a place for that. And the problem is now y'all are infringing upon the innocence of children. This is my problem. This chick, Teacher Bay, and all these other women who are supposed to be mothers and role models and nurturing figures for these children, but you're walking around exposing them to sexuality. Please stop saying it's my butt and I can show it off and it's his fault for looking. No, it's not. It's not. It's just, I find it hard to have these discussions because people don't want to just accept basics. Okay, listen, hear me. My favorite color is pink, okay? So if I see something pink, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it. Especially if it's shiny and glittery. If it glitters and shines, it's probably mine, okay? I'm going to look at it. I'm going to want it. I'm going to want to see it. I'm going to want to touch it. I understand these things. You understand these things too, because you as an individual have certain things that you love, whether it be cars, shoes, bags, whatever. You have things that you love. And when you see these things, you can't help but be like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's pretty. You try it on. If it's a bag, you hold it. You look in the mirror to see. If you're shopping online, you pull up the little thing to see the size and how it'll like you check it out. Why is it so hard to understand that that is a natural occurrence when it comes to men and when women are in the area? And why is it so hard for you to understand that there's a time and a place for that, and it's not at your child's sporting event? This is supposed to be a child and family event where everyone is there to focus on their children and their family. When you dress that way, you are seeking to take attention from these children and their families. That's all you're doing. You're being an attention whore at the wrong time. And you're doing it in front of kids. So whose attention are you really going for? Because if you just wanted the attention of grown men, you would wear that trash to the club. Heck, even to the mall, okay? To the grocery store. Not to a child-centered event. You hoes be walking around in these leggings at Chuck E. Cheese and freaking Urban Air. Why? Why? And then you wonder why your child is so angry all the time. But every time they go out with you, they have to wonder why are all these men looking at my mom all crazy? Why he talking to my mom all crazy? Because your mama is walking around looking crazy. If you wanted the attention of grown men, then you wear stuff like that where grown men are going to be. Alone, not with their children, you dodos. Not with their children. I'm sorry, okay? I'm just gonna say, and I know this is the internet, so I know somebody's gonna be like, well, I have never seen a married couple, and when you ask them where they met, He said, yeah, I seen her in some booty hugging leggings at my child's football game, and I knew she just had to be my wife. I've never heard that. I've never heard that. And now, listen, I'm not claiming to know all the married people in the world. I'm not claiming that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm just saying. You're walking in a correct and direct contradiction to the things that are trying to get you what you want in life. You're walking in direct contradiction to the Bible, to common sense. And then you wonder why nobody wants to be around you. Nobody wants to be bothered with you. You act like the law of nature does not apply to you. You act like the rules that rule over the just and the unjust for some reason don't apply to you. You okay. I've been watching this professor. If you've been on my social media, you saw me talk about this channel, Predictive History. And one thing I noticed in this channel, and the professor's great, don't get me wrong, like lots of great information. And like I said, I don't agree with anything. I don't agree with everything anybody says. Okay, so keep that in mind. But lots of great information, right? But one thing I noticed is that he makes a lot of grand generalizations about what goes on here in America. And the only reason I know that is because I live here, okay? And so there are a lot of basically he's generalizing America like a third world country. Like seriously, that's how they talk about America. I believe he teaches in China or Canada. I don't remember. But basically like he talks about America like it's a third world country. Like people can't afford to buy houses, people can't find jobs, people can't, get food. And it made me realize how because of the internet, we conduct our lives in great generalizations, right? Because depending on your algorithm, you feel like your life should look a certain way. Okay. If your algorithm is full of all these boss babes and hustle chicks and you know what I'm saying? If your algorithm is full of that, and then this is what you think your life should be. If your algorithm is full of baddies who are out here dating quote unquote ballers, fraudsters, scammers, whatever, then this is what you think your life should be. And this is what you start to think about other people in your life. Okay. So if you're listening to these women out here like Shira 7 and Sprinkle, and this is what you got to do to get a rich man and all this other stuff, you live with this generalization that any man that approaches you has to be making a certain amount of money. And if he's not, then, oh, well, you don't need to talk to him. Living in these internet generalizations does not make any sense because that may not apply to you. Okay. If you are not in a big enough city to attract someone at a certain income level, it's dang near impossible. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. If you're not out here ready to be on some hoe is life type stuff, you're not going to be in the vicinity to attract the men that are put up on the internet as ooh a catch, ooh a baller, ooh he this, ooh he that. You're just not gonna do it. Here's what I need to explain to us regular folks, us regular ladies, okay? Once a man reaches a certain income level, there are just certain things that change. Certain things he's not willing to do without, certain things he's not willing to deal with, okay? And for me and you as regular people, you get to know a person, you decide if you can deal with them or not. If you can, cool. If you can't, in a healthy situation. If you can't, you send them on about their business. You don't try to control them. You don't try to change them. For the most part, right? But what I need you regular girls to understand, and it's not a diss when I'm calling you regular. I'm only calling you regular because you've been fooled into thinking that the people behind the screen are somehow not regular, like they're somehow better than you because you think they have more money, or they look a certain way, or they got a BBL or whatever. So you seem to think for some reason that they are not living on this same earth as you, not dealing with the same issues as you. Okay, so that's the only reason I'm saying regular. But so for us regular girls, okay, when you try to break into this world of fame and glitz and glamour or whatever, you will soon come to realize that there are different appetites among these groups of people that you may not be willing to fulfill. Okay? And this is the danger with living with generalizations. Another danger is there could be somebody very nice, very capable, very willing to fulfill all your marital and family dreams right there in your neighborhood. But because he's not in a Lambo or a Maserati or whatever, whatever the latest influencer was flashing on your IG, now he's not good enough. There's a man working a 9 to 5 at Georgia Power right now. He go to work, he come home, he make his food, he walk his dog, but because he not out at the club every night, because he not popping bottles, standing on couches, you'll sit there and call him a nurse. He's too nice. He's too nice. And that's another thing that does not make sense to me, the he's too nice situation. For a group of women who claim to be the most victimized, the most unprotected, the most dogged out, oh my God, they just do Black women so bad. How dare you ever complain about a man being too nice? It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. You fall for a persona that you see 5 seconds of on a clip. And now you want to implant that persona upon the people around you. And stop trying to live other people's lives. I feel like that's a lot of what's going on. Like, you see these influencers or you see these people and you feel like, ooh, this is the life I want to live. And that's why they put them on there, right? They're supposed to be aspirational. These are supposed to be people that they want you to look up to them. Like, they want you to emulate them. They want you to try to be like them. And the only reason is so that they can sell you stuff. That's the only reason. They want to sell you whatever this influencer has on, is driving, is wearing, is eating. It's no different than advertisement. It's just another form of advertisement, just to suck you in and to make you think, oh, if you have this thing, you'll be happier. If you have this thing, your life will be better. But when you sit down and think about these things, it doesn't make any sense. That tea is so good. And so when you conduct your life in generalizations, you never deal with you specifically. You always walk around with unrealistic expectations. And this is how a lot of you all find yourselves in situations, because of these unrealistic expectations. I know plenty of women who have left good dudes. Good dudes. I mean, good dudes. Listen, nobody is coming to you perfect. No, you're not even perfect. I was not even perfect when my husband stumbled upon me. Okay, there was work that had to be done on both sides. But for some reason, we have been fooled into thinking that we're supposed to find the perfect person and they're supposed to be already like proofread, already edited. They're supposed to be already suited to us, already tailored to our fit. And if they're not, then they're not good enough. Just like this whole coffee date situation. Like, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Just like this whole coffee date situation. Right? It's a coffee date good enough? You know, of course the women are, no, I'm not going on no coffee date, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like, okay, cool. You don't want to go on a coffee date. You want a man to, spend more money, put some thought into it, cool. But what are you doing in return? And I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about sex. See, the thing is, like, y'all want a man to wine and dine you, and then you want to treat him like he's a non-factor. Wine me, dine me, take me home, and then I'll call you when I'm ready, or I'll call you when I want to. See, here's it's two sides to that, right? Because on the one hand, a man who values his money, who maybe, his disposable income is not as much as he would like, or maybe he's saving for the future, trying to do something. He could be on an entrepreneurial path for whatever reason. This man's $200 means a lot to him. Like, it's not something that he's just going to let go. Like, he's not the type to go out and blow $200 on a pair of sneakers. Okay. So when you take this man and you have him spending money on you on a date, he thinks it's because, okay, we like each other, we're trying to build something. So I'm going to take her out on this date, show her a good time to let her know I'm serious about her and I really like her. Okay, that's on this side. Then on this side, you have the man who that $200 ain't nothing for him. That he probably spend that on a pair of drawers. Okay, he don't give a doggone about that $200, right? Here, girl, have some more. All right. Now there's problems with both of these because the man who values that $200 a little bit more is going to expect relationship after he pays for that date. He's going to expect relationship. When he call you the next day, he's going to expect you to answer. When he texts you, he's going to expect the answer. But y'all out here wanting to play games like it's cat and mouse and we Tom and Jerry and he got to chase me and I don't really like him and he only paid $200. It wasn't all that. When the last time you've taken yourself anywhere for $200 or more? And the problem on the other hand is the man who does not care about that $200 does not care about you either. Okay? That $200 was nothing to him and neither are you. But this is the one that you will hunt down. You will call him. You trying to spend the night at his house. You trying to not leave. You trying to work from home at his crib. And then when that don't reciprocate for you, all men are dogs. I don't know what's wrong with them. I can't stand them. He must be gay. It's everything else but you making a bad choice. And it just don't work like that. We have to put in effort and work in every part of our life, even relationships. Thank you for joining me. I want to say especially relationships. Especially relationships. The coffee date is not a problem when you're real about yourself. If you would be real with yourself and say, maybe I'm not ready to seriously date right now, then a little coffee date isn't a problem. The only reason you would have a problem with that is if you're trying to hustle somebody for a free meal. That would be the problem. Because if you're not dating to get married, then go on a coffee date with your little friend. Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Eliano's, wherever he want to take you. Go have a little coffee date with your little friend. Y'all just friends, right? But I really believe, and I said this before, I really believe the reason that women have problems with coffee dates is because they don't want to feel bad about giving it up on the first date. I really feel like that. You don't want to accept a coffee date because you can't control your little hoo-ha. And if your little hoo-ha get to jumping, you want to be able to give him some of it and be able to tell your friends, yeah, but at least he did this. At least he did that. Instead of taking your time, figuring out what you want, and then moving in that direction. But you want, but you don't want to give. And I feel like that's why a lot of men are just in the space that they are about women. We want and want and want. Show me, prove it to me, spend your money on me, spend time with me. When I call, you better pick up the phone. We have all these demands, but what are we willing to give in return? And the answer is not always sex. That's the first thing. Oh, you just want me for my body. No, maybe he's trying to get to know you. Like maybe he just wants to be treated like a decent human being in return. Maybe he just wants some acknowledgement of his effort. Why is that so hard to understand? You can't run around victimizing people and then want everyone to label you the victim. When you walk out of here half dressed and half naked, that should be considered assault because your private parts are private and I should not be seeing them. That should be considered assault. That's how I feel about it. If you're saying that you want to be a wife, then that means that you're going to start carrying yourself as if you are someone's wife. This is not a deterrent for the right kind of man. If you feel like you carrying yourself like a lady is going to push away the kind of men that you like, then you don't like the right kind of men. And you need to go back to the drawing board and do some work on yourself because why are you settling for the low-hanging fruit? Anybody that's going to come in your life and not attempt to improve you is useless. They don't really care about you. There's no way I'm going to sit back and see my husband underperforming and not say something. I'm not going to not say something. And look, I know a lot of people have a problem with this, but my husband and I are very clear on the fact that appearance is very important to us. Okay. He knows that about me and I know that about him. So, hey, if I'm slacking a little bit or if I've been a little bit too friendly with the fridge, I don't mind my husband telling me, please tell me for somebody else out here in the public be looking and laughing and you know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to help build up this person as they are a reflection of you. But we don't want to do that. A lot of y'all just want to come into a situation that's already built up. But you want to come in with some kind of clout like you're running the place. That's not how it works. I am thankful. I'm very, very thankful that me and my husband got together when we did and that we built our life together. I'm very thankful for that. Because when you come into a program, you're not coming to change the program. You're coming to be a part of an already established program. Like, I don't remember the young man's name, but the young man that just got kicked off the NFL team because he wouldn't lose what I'm not gonna say he went where he couldn't, whatever his weight. wasn't losing the weight that they wanted him to lose. And so they kicked him off the team, right? Because you can't come to the program and make your own rules. You got to be able to come to the program and function within the program. You get with this man and he working 12 and 14 hours a day, and it was cool when y'all was dating, and on his days off he would take you out. That's cool. But now you're married and you want him home more, and you can't just come in and change the program. You signed up for the program. One thing I learned while our Bible study group was, why is this child calling? I don't know why my kids call when they know I'm on. Why? Please, please, Lord. I'm gonna start putting my phone on do not disturb, but I got kids out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that. Start charging them to take these calls. Okay, she's not answering. What the heck, girl? Hold on, let me just text her real quick. I see she at school. I can see I hate when they call and I call them and they don't answer right away. Like, you're supposed to call as soon as I answer. Okay. But let's keep going. Okay. Abigail. We was talking about Abigail. So last night, me and my Bible study group, shout out to them. Me and my Bible study group talked about Abigail. And how she used her wisdom to go and basically save her husband's life. And then when after she saved the man's life, okay, she went back home and he's sitting up here partying it up with his friends. The Bible says he was having a banquet like a king, okay? And even with that, she didn't go in there and bust the door down and was like, hey, I just saved your life. She ain't do none of that. She waited till the morning until he got sober. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. She waited till the morning till he got sober. And then she told him. And then, the Most High did his thing. Her husband wound up dying 10 days later. And then David sent for her and was like, hey, come be my wife. What stood out to me, though, was her humility and her wisdom and how she handled this situation. Okay. Because imagine, right? Okay. Imagine you're living in the time of kings and feudalism and taxes and everything else, and the freaking king walks into your house after he done sent some soldiers to help you out. Like, hey, bruh, I see you got all these sheep over here. I could use a couple sweaters. And then then your husband is like, man, what is wrong with you? Get out of here. I ain't giving you nothing, blah, 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 right? So most women would go and tell their husband off and then go and pack up the donkey with because she rode on a donkey. They would pack up the donkey with an attitude and everything else. And I always got to fix stuff. What's wrong with you? I should have never married you. Sorry. Whatever, right? She went to the king, hopped off her donkey, bowed before the king. Okay, she didn't go to the king like, who do you think you are? Coming to my house, talking to my husband all crazy, blah, 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 blah. She went and pleaded his case like, I'm so sorry. Yes, his name means fool and he is full of folly, right? And so in that, her humility was amazing. The behavior under the pressure, not going off on her husband, even when she knew he was wrong. Okay. She fixed the situation. She comes back. And when I was reading this, it put me in the mind of a woman that's been at work all day and she come home and her husband on a video game. I'm going off. What is wrong with you? You ain't did nothing else all day. I've been out here cleaning up your mess and then I'm going to come home and you up on the game. Oh, it's going up, right? But no, she didn't do that either. I can imagine she just walked right by the party, grabbed a biscuit and some water or whatever, and went on about her business. And then in the morning, she dealt with that. The only way to prove your value to a person is to show them what you can do that they can't do, right? I'm not trying to simplify my husband, but just for this example, one of the ways that he adds value to my life, he can fix things, he can build things that I cannot do, things that I would have to pay someone hundreds of dollars to come in here and do. I know I can go to my husband and say, "Boo, can you do this for me?" And he can do it. Okay. That is a value added to my life. I add value to his life because he doesn't like to stay in the house. He does not like to be at home all day. If it wasn't for me, this man would have no clean clothes. He wouldn't eat. His diet would be trash. I take care of his kid. Like, I add value to his life by doing the things that he cannot do. Not saying, okay, let me clear this up. Not saying that he cannot, right? But he's out earning a living. Okay. The counterpart to the man being out earning the living is a woman staying at home and maintaining the home. This is my value, because while you're out doing this, I can do that, and we can come together and enjoy the fruits of our labor together, right? Okay. The problem with modern women is we have lost sight of the fact that our value to men is in being the opposite of them. Two people sitting on the same side of the seesaw is not fun. We're not going anywhere. We're just sitting here on the ground. But if we have two people on opposite sides of the seesaw, now we're having a good time. We women who have fallen to this modern wave of feminism, this modern I am strong, independent woman, thought process, have been fooled into thinking that our value is because we can do the same thing that men can do, even though we've proven over and over again that we cannot. You want a prime example of this? I'll give you one. I don't know who I was talking to about this the other day, but even trans men have a period once a month. As much as you want to think that you're a man, you can take all the hormones you want. That uterus is going to scream and cry and holler and let you know it's your 7 days off. So when we are trying to prove that we are the same as men, we forget the gifts that we have as women. Let me read these comments. We're going to go through that. I know a lot of women who want a man who's already up and established, which ain't a problem, but we're the women who see that you're not exactly where you should be and willing to work with that. Okay, so exactly. And I know a lot of women are like, well, what if he don't? What if he don't? What if he don't? Listen, there are ways to make sure. Okay. I'm going to tell you like this. If the man can't hold down a job at Burger King for 6 months to a year, he's not equipped to own his own business. He's not going to do it. It takes an immense amount of work ethic. Nobody tells my husband when to get up. He's not on nobody's schedule but his own. He knows, okay, this is my deadline, and it's up to him to measure out his time, even when he has to tell me no, even when he has to tell our kids no, even when me and the boys are out doing something fun and he has to be here working. That is his responsibility as a man. Y'all be getting with dudes that be selling y'all pipe dreams with no potential and mad when he won't make his own dreams come true. But if you would have been looking at the signs and not ignoring the red flags, then you would know that. You would have known that. A lot of y'all see red flags and just ignore it, especially if they see you're putting in work and y'all talking. Time to get to know different aspects of each other during the process. All of that makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Okay. So back to what I was saying. In our trying to convince men that our value is in being like them, we have forgotten the strengths, the tools that we have as women, as females, as the gentler sex. Okay. And I was listening to a lecture today, Professor Jang again. I've been listening to his stuff for days. And he was talking about how there's a theory that at one time women were superior in society because we gave birth, right? And if you go back to the beginning of time, this is a miracle, right? Like, this is so sacred, giving birth. And we didn't understand how women got pregnant. We didn't exactly understand. We just knew that, boom, here's a baby. Wow, this is wonderful. We need this to keep going. All hail the women, right? And so eventually, as we became a agricultural society, and now you have machines that are necessary to feed people, like plows, and just different, as they develop different tools to help with agriculture. Because I don't want y'all to think like modern stuff with wheels. No, we're talking about like 2 horses and a plow, that kind of stuff. As we're developing these primitive tools to assist us with agriculture, the men are showing to be more valuable in this area. And because, hey, food is definitely something that we need, or else nobody will be here doing nothing, then the men became superior. Okay. And I could totally get with that. Like, that totally makes sense. The person who's adding the most value is the one that's in charge. Okay. That does not take away from our value as women. Because, like I said, 2 people on the same side of the seesaw is a bore. Your value is not in being as strong or stronger than him in the same manner. Your value is in having more strength emotionally, having more emotional intelligence. And I don't know, like, I it bothers me so much that women feel like men don't deserve to be dealt with emotional intelligence. They do. They do. Okay. Just because they are overall logical creatures does not mean that there's not an emotional component there that needs to be dealt with in order to have a successful relationship with said man. There was a post on Threads not too long ago, and this lady was talking about her mom teaching her how to go through the back door with a man, right? And these modern women, they're so freaking dense. Of course, the first thing they start going is, why your man need to be pegged? Why you need to go through his back door? And I'm just like, these freaking idiots, they don't get it. I can walk up to my homegirl, right? And be like, hey girl, I need $20. I need $20 for some gas right now. All right, girl, here you go. When I walk up to my husband, and now I'm just saying $20. Let's be clear. $20 is no big deal, okay? I walk up to my husband to ask him for something. I don't walk up to him like, hey man, let me get $20. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm rubbing his chest. I'm telling him how fine he looked today. I'm telling him how handsome he is. I'm going to pull him in the bedroom if I have to. And then I'm going to calmly, sweetly, and seductively ask for what I need. A modern woman would tell you that that's ridiculous. Why do you have to go through all of that? He should just give you what you want when you want him to. And that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because who operates like that at all? My sons, when they want some candy, because I'm tight on the candy with them. I don't like it at all. I take them to the, like, I don't play about their teeth, okay? So when they know they want some candy, they don't just come to me like, hey, Ma, let me get some candy. They come, they find me. Mommy, what are you doing? Can I have a hug? You look so pretty today. Can we watch Family Feud later? Okay. And then it's, can I have some candy? Can I have a chocolate? Please, Mommy. And how can I say no? I'm going to say yes, right? Um, And so I don't understand why we have such a problem accepting that this is the way things are to be done. And see, this is probably why some of y'all can't get nowhere in life, because you treat all your authority figures the same. You go to your boss with that stinking attitude. Look, I'm gonna need this, and this day off, and blah 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 blah. Instead of, excuse me, can I get you a donut? By the way, I was wondering, strength is not always brute force. If you if you go to a creek or a river or a lake, anywhere where there's not a lake, because that's still, but anywhere where there's a constant flowing of water, you will see how water can break things down and tear things away. Even when water drips on metal, it causes it to rust and deteriorate and break down. And the water is not strong. It's just constant and it is consistent. It's quiet. It's quiet. You don't hear it coming, but it's constant and it's consistent. And eventually, over time, it wears rocks, mountains, it wears them away. That is the strength of water. The strength of a woman is in her humility. And I know that's a bad word for modern women because we don't like to be humbled. You're not going to humble me. Who do you think you are? Nobody's going to humble me. And I came to tell you that I really have a hard time believing that women who hate earthly men so much can really love God. I have a hard time believing that, because how can you say you love me but you don't love your brothers who you can't see? It's not making any sense. Your strength as a woman is not in showing your ass. It's not in showing your behind. It's not in showing off your BBL. Nobody cares how big your boobs are. We all got big boobs these days. If you're not born with them, you can buy them. You don't want to get implants, they got the little chicken cutlet thingamajiggers. Like, it's too easy to fake this stuff. I don't want to get a BBL, but I can go out and get some booty pads. It's too easy to get, it's too easy to fake, and it's too easy to get the things that y'all are putting your value in. And if you are trying to live righteous, let me just encourage you. Don't get discouraged watching these hoochies living this fast life. Them men are there for a good time, not a long time. I can assure you of that. Don't get discouraged. Be not weary in well doing. Let them have what everybody else wants. I don't know if it was a conscious thing of rejection that I did, but I never was attracted to anybody that was too popular. Like, everybody like you, everybody wants you. Never mind. I'm not doing it, because I'm not jumping through all them hoops. I'm not about to play these games. I'm not about to stand in line. You know what I'm saying? The more women a man can acquire, the less value each woman has. And I'm not about to be in a group. All right. Like, that's just not what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. And so I'm going to set myself aside for the one that I want, for the undiscovered treasure over here. A lot of these men is just diamonds in the rough. There was a time, and please don't come at me with the, well, my grandmama did it and it didn't work out for her. My mama didn't, it didn't work out for her, because there are so many women that it did work out for. But y'all, again, like people get on here and say, y'all don't want to hear the advice from the happily married women. You rather hear the horror stories because it gives you an excuse not to do better. Well, it didn't work out for her, so I shouldn't even try. And you rest on that and you live on that the rest of your life. And then when you're 70, 80 in a freaking nursing home, wonder why nobody's coming to see you and nobody wants to visit you. Well, remember, you didn't think anybody was worth it. And so when you want to run around, protect black women, act decently towards a black man. It's not making any sense. You can't want the men to protect you and then be like, okay, and then send them on about their merry way. Yes, exactly. And then I turned around and married you. Because I don't like everybody fawning over what's mine. I don't like that. Not my man. My purse, my car, my house, my clothes. Sure. My man? No. Now we got a problem. And it's weird because I ain't never liked them ugly. I don't know. I just didn't want what everybody else wanted. Like, you know? Mm. Like your life, your ideals, your values, these things should all line up and should all reflect each other. Like, you shouldn't be walking around in high-waisted, butt-squeezing leggings. And then when you get on the phone with Buddy, want to talk about how you're such a Christian, you love the Lord, and you're saving yourself for marriage. The first step to seduction is lust. Like that, like if you're not trying to seduce people, then why are you out here showing the weapons of seduction? If you don't want attention, why are you dressing for attention? It does not make any sense. A man that is looking for a wife is not interested in someone who dresses like a streetwalker. He's looking for a wife, not a whore. But you want to present yourself like a wife. Like, y'all are like 2026 car shells with a 1926 interior, right? Like, you like to dress yourself up all fancy on the outside, but on the inside it's just trash. It's just trash on the inside. And that is why you're okay with walking around looking like that, because you feel like the only way I can get attention is to show everybody this BBL. The only way I can get attention is to have my leggings going up my butt crack. If you would get yourself together, take your time, and allow God to send you a husband, you wouldn't have to worry about needing it. Listen, my husband keep my gas tank full. Like, you can't tell me I'm not the Beyonce of wherever I'm at, because my husband made me feel that way. Like, he clapped for me when ain't nobody listening. He compliment me every chance I get. He's constantly chasing me around the house. I threatened to put on sweatpants. It don't matter. I'm not looking for attention from randos because I got a man at home that loves me. Y'all can't get to the man at home that loves you because you're too busy out here entertaining the randos. It's not in your timing. It is all in God's timing. And everything has to happen for a reason. I promise you, as you continue to live your life, you will start to see why things happen, when they happen. Things will start to make sense for you. I tell my homegirls, I tell my daughters, enjoy your single time. Enjoy your single time. Work on your education, finish your degrees, focus on your career, focus on you, find out what you like and what you don't like, because the first thing the man gonna ask you is, what do you like to do? And if you don't have an answer, then you're gonna end up in the McDonald's drive-through impressed with a supersized meal. Or, well, I know they don't do supersized no more, but you know what I mean. You have to be able to tell a person about yourself. You have to be able to say, I like painting, I like art, I like to watch soccer, I like to go bowling, I like to do this, I like to do that. The answer to what you like can't just be, I like to turn up. Develop yourself, develop your personality. Discover the things that make you happy, things that you can share with a person. My oldest daughter and her boyfriend broke up not too long ago. It's been a few months. I'm happy. But my daughter loves to hike. She likes to hike. She was doing it before, and then he started hiking with her, and it was cool and all. But even after they broke up, she was still hiking, and now me and her hike together. And she was like, I'm glad my hiking memories aren't bad ones. So it's like, yeah, they did things together, but it's still her thing to do. Like, it's still her hobby. Y'all will wait till you get with someone and you pick up their hobbies. Like, if he's into basketball, all of a sudden you're into basketball. If he's into, I don't know, what are people into these days? I don't know. If he's into freaking clay shooting, now you're into clay shooting. And then when y'all break up, you're back to having no life, having no hobbies, and you're devastated and destroyed because your whole life was with this man. Wait a minute. What do you like? Me shopping? I feel like that's a great answer too. But we gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta give him a few more options. You gotta give him a few more options, and your answer has to be more than, I just like to go out to eat. That's simple. Then all he gonna do is just feed you all the time. I mean, come on. Our problem is, and I feel like the reason why the whole MAGA train, right-wing conservative ideals and values are being so embraced right now is because the opposite direction was so hard. It was so hard. It went from women advocating for birth control to now we're advocating to be able to abort whenever we want to up into the 9th month. We went so hard about being allowed in the workplace that now you're required to work just like a man. You don't get no time off. You don't get over maternity leave. You're equal, remember? For all y'all that's why we don't get no maternity leave. You're equal. Remember? You're equal. You can do anything a man can do. You're just as strong as a man. So fine, give birth and get back up and get your behind to work. Did that make any sense? Your strength is not in being the same as a man. Your strength is in being the opposite. If we were all men, who would reproduce? Look at what's going on right now. And like I told y'all last week, for a long time, Black people were laughing, talking about, oh, look at the white birth rate going down. Look at the Europeans. They can't reproduce themselves. Guess what, Negroes? Y'all not reproducing either. We're the number one consumers of the abortion clinic. Look at how y'all have freaking took over the alphabet community. More the T than the G and the B. Y'all is T'ing out here hard. It's so crazy that when me and my husband are watching TV, we sit there and like, wait a minute, that's a man. I know that's a man. We be looking at the chin, at the neck, at the hands, the arms, everything. Listen, if she ain't got none of this, that is a man, honey. That is a man. And it's crazy to me how you can literally just be watching television and then this boom is thrown in front of you. Boom, you're going to deal with this. It's been so hard in the other direction. So now the correction has to be so hard to try to get us back on the right track. It's the same thing I say about women and how we dress. We wonder why these men, and I'm not saying they all have good intentions, but there are some men out here with good intentions who are trying to tell you, hey, sis, cover up. That's not cute. Hey, sis, cover up. No decent man is going to want that. But instead of us listening to them, they wouldn't have to tell us if we acted like we had some sense. I remember, okay, when I was in school, your skirt has to come down to your fingertips. Past your fingertips, in fact. If you held your arm down and that skirt was not past your fingertips, they were calling your parents and sending you home. So how do we go from that to now y'all out here wearing skirts that don't even cover your entire behind? How did we go from crop tops that only showed your stomach when you raised your hand to now we out here wearing full-on bras as shirts in the public? It's too freaking much. A little what did I say? A little leaven. Help me, Bible people. A little leaven does something. But it makes the whole thing bad. I don't remember the exact wording, but a little leaven makes the whole thing bad. One bad apple spoils the bunch. You ever had molded strawberries in your fridge? Like, you ever had the strawberries in there and like one day you might look and one might have a little mold on it and you be like, okay, whatever, I'll get it later. And then by the time you come back, now the other one next to it is molded and this one is molded too. And now you got to throw the whole thing away. Whereas if you would have just took care of that one molded strawberry, you would still have a whole other case of strawberries. You understand what I'm saying? It's like we have to stop entertaining sin at all. We have to stop. We are an embarrassment. I am embarrassed to be a Black woman sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all out here fighting in the streets. People are recording you and you don't care. You're dressing like whores. You're shaking your behinds. And it is embarrassing. I worry that when people look at me, they feel, oh, she's one of them. I go out my way to make sure I have my wedding ring on when I walk out this house. I go out my way to make sure I'm presented in a way that would please my husband, that would please the Lord when I walk out of this house. Why? Because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm anything like y'all modern women. I'm very much a lady. Please, sir, open my door. It's not okay. When we was defending gangster rap and they was talking about the gangsters, the Snoop and all them, Gangster with an ER, right? When we was talking about all them and how they was calling women bitches and hoes. Well, they not talking to me. Well, they not talking to me. Well, now they talking to all of us. Now we all bitches and hoes. Now what? We'll be so tight on the disrespect. Y'all be so tight on the disrespect. Let you even think that they meant some disrespect, and you ready to you ready to tear it all down and blow it all up. But you constantly disrespect God on a daily basis, and you feel like he's still supposed to smile at you? You're an embarrassment to your creator every day, but you still feel like, oh, he's supposed to bless you and have grace and mercy upon you. Whereas if one of your kids was walking out here acting like you act, showing they behind every day, you'd be ready to kick them out and have nothing else to do with them. Y'all are embarrassing. It doesn't make any sense. I'm so tired of it. You want black men to protect black women, but y'all want to treat black men like crap and talk about them like they're crazy? Treat them like trash? You want to tell them when they can treat you like a woman and when not. And it's not that you have to. All of y'all ain't living that hard life. Stop it. Some of y'all got good men out here. But because he's not suitable for Instagram, because he won't help you get TikTok famous, you got him over here in the friend zone. You got him over here in the friend zone. A little leaven is the whole. That's what I thought. I just wasn't sure. You friend zoning him. But when America's Most Wanted come rolling up and break your heart, you gonna want to go back to Buddy. It don't make no sense. It don't. We too old for this. We're too old and y'all complain too much. Y'all complain way too much about what you don't have, about what you can't get, about how no one likes you, no one respects you, no one protects you. Are you more worried about what the world thinks of you or what God thinks of you? Because if you were more worried about what God thinks of you, you wouldn't go out with leggings in between your butt crack. If you were more worried about what God thinks of you, you wouldn't talk crazy to people. You wouldn't be out here trying to take advantage of and abuse these men. You wouldn't be dressing like a harlot around little boys. Are you trying to set them up to be abused by you? Are you out here grooming them? Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. You're grooming them to think that it's acceptable for women to display their bodies like this. So when they get older and they see a woman dressed decently, they're going to think something's wrong with her because, well, my mom always dressed like a skank. Why aren't you? You're grooming them to spend all their money in the strip club. You're grooming them to have a sex addiction. You're grooming them to be obsessed with women's bodies instead of their minds. And then when they grow up and have somebody's daughter calling your phone talking about why he don't love me, why he doing this, why he doing that, you want to look at him. And the fact of the matter, it was you over-sexualizing this child. You never gave him a chance. This is why women don't need sons without fathers. I don't care. I'm going to say it. This is why women don't need children without fathers. Because now you're going to try to make this man your husband, this son, this boy. That's why y'all out here dressing them like little mini thugs, like little mini life prisoners. That's why y'all dress them like that. Having them posing, and that's why y'all do that. Because I don't have the mental capacity, I don't have the emotional capacity to discipline myself to compromise with a grown man. So I'm gonna just live out my fantasies on this little boy. Y'all need to be in jail. I'm done with you, not yes, America's Most Wanted. Yes. That's what they be looking for. Brandy, Shannon, Shalom, and Shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. That's what they be looking for. Thug life. That's what they want. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. I hope something that I said was helpful, whether you're listening live or on the replay. If you happen to catch us on the replay, just drop a little replay in the comments so we'll know. If you have not already on the YouTube, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. If you like something I said, you'd like to support our ministry efforts here at the House of Mono. Hold on. Okay, head over to the Cash App, the House of Mono. Cash App, $ the House of Mono. $1 or $2 will do. We appreciate everyone who gives. Trust me, we do not take your dollars, your coins for granted. Okay, I know how I feel about mine, so trust me, we value yours too. Please, if you're not following me on the socials, follow me. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I am on Snap. I don't be on Snap that much, but Facebook, TikTok, Instagram at Miss Mono's World. If you want to reach out, feel free to hop in the DM. You can reach me by email, missmonosworld@gmail.com. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you all for your comments. I know, you know what I'm saying? It may not seem like a big deal, but as somebody who's trying to like build it, every comment counts. So please, if you have any love for me at all, drop a comment. I don't care if you drop your hair color, today's date. I don't care. Drop a comment, drop a like, drop a share, tell a friend. I don't know why the boys didn't come down tonight. I guess they upstairs caught up in a video game or something. But I will see y'all right back here next Thursday. Same black time, same black station. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you. Shalom, shalom, and good night.
Doing gang things.
Mono.
Living super clean. Daddy came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing.
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue Magog. Now also available on Nasaya TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss it, sisters and cousins.
Let him save you in the end like a Semino. Be help me, shout it, let the silly go.
One time for the men doing gang
For my
things.
king.
Dead friends to the